And now we move on to the film that everyone makes fun of Raimi for, Spider-Man 3 from 2007. Yay. Hello everyone, Gilligan Kruger 0829 here, and welcome to the third day of my Spider-Man movie series marathon review. Today we will be looking at the second sequel to the hit 2002 Sam Raimi film, this one called Spider-Man 3. Gee, the titles to these movies are just so inventive, they're just flowing with creativity. But, you know what, let's just get it over with by saying if an uninventive title was the only problem with this movie, that would be great. Because, as a lot of you know, in 2007, towards the beginning of summer, when this movie came out, it was met with really good box office success, but the critical reception was not too positive. And yeah, I'm just gonna get it over with. I was not looking forward to reviewing this one. This is the one I was least interested in doing. But I've made a commitment to you, so I'm gonna hold that up. So let's just get through it and look at Spider-Man 3. So this movie starts when we learn that Peter has actually managed to keep his life in check with his role as Spider-Man. He still is doing all the heroic stuff, but he's back in college, his job is going well, and his relationship is going fine with Mary Jane. So much so that he's planning to propose to her. But of course, problems intervene. First off, Harry, who still has a grudge against Spider-Man, even more so now that he knows Peter was Spider-Man, still is, has donned the Green Goblin costume and plans to exact revenge on Spider-Man once and for all. We also have a new bad guy in here, a small-time thug named Flint Marko, or whatever his real name is, I don't know, decides to enter New York. He's played by Thomas Hayden Church, and his character is the Sandman. And no, he does not put you to sleep. This character actually has his body genetically infused with sand, and he can grow larger, disappear into sand, turn sand into clubs. Kind of inventive, I thought. And you also have two new characters in Peter's personal life. One is his fellow classmate, Gwen Stacy, played by Bryce Dallas Howard, and the other is a rival photographer from the Daily Bugle named Eddie Brock, played by Topher Grace. But all these pale in comparison to his biggest issue. You see, from space, this alien black goo substance, it manages to find Peter and blend with his body, and he essentially becomes Black Suit Spider-Man. That's the best way to put it. And while at first this seems to give him a lot of power, it eventually goes on to torture him and drive him mad. And the rest of the movie is kind of like a mix between him trying to get over the parasite, while at the same time trying to quell all the aforementioned issues. Now, 2007, as I said in my Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End review, was the year of the threequel. We had Rush Hour 3, Shrek 3, Ocean's 13, Pirates of the Caribbean 3, Bourne 3, Bourne Ultimatum by that I mean, and of course this one, Spider-Man 3. And this one probably had the most hype to it because of the whole black suit thing and everything. And boy did it fail to live up to that hype. I literally remember when this movie came out, I was a freshman in high school, and I heard lots of people saying, oh, that movie sucked, or I didn't like it too much. That was pretty much the universal criticism on it. And I'm gonna say right here and right now, this is my least favorite of the trilogy. That being said, though, I don't hate it. At least not as much as everybody else does. But I definitely see what the big hate in this is. And I'm just going to start with my biggest problem in the movie, the story. Not so much because it's bad. Well, it has some problems, obviously. But at points it doesn't even make sense to me. Because the whole thing, this opens up as saying Spider-Man has solved all of his problems. He can go back to being a normal person and also be Spider-Man. that doesn't make sense. The whole backbone of Spider-Man 2 was how being Spider-Man was keeping him from his regular life. And now it's just, oh, I can go back to it now. Poof! That's it. I mean, didn't the last Spider-Man movie even end with Peter saying, "Now you know why we can't be together. I have to do this. It's my duty. With great power comes great responsibility. I'm Spider-Man." And now we're just supposed to believe that he's got it all under control? I mean, I'm sorry, but that's really distracting. You can't just change up the entire tone and background of the last movie and expect us to go with it. I mean, I didn't go with it anyway, and I'm sure a lot of other people didn't. But, you know what, again, if that was the only problem in the story, I could kind of get away with it, but there are more. Like, for instance, the black suit Spider-Man. Yeah, this really fell on its face because, again, I've never read the comics, but I know people like RayXNinja who are huge Spider-Man nerds and have told me all about it, and for what I get from them, apparently this suit is, the symbiote, that's what it's called, is supposed to be like a drug, and while at first it gives Peter power, it eventually makes him lose his mind, and he goes insane because of it. With this movie, I never got that. They trade it for more scenes where Peter is being, well, for lack of a better term, an emo and an asshole. And I just didn't see that was working out. This was such a lost opportunity. You had this chance to make this really dark and really torturous, and you just did. Pooey on you guys. But oh yeah, I'm not even going to begin to talk about how they botched Venom in this, because everyone else has bitched about that, and if I go into that, we'll probably be here all day. So, the third problem I really had with this movie was the tone. Yeah, argue what you want about the last two Spider-Man movies. Yes, they had flaws, but they knew what they wanted to be. The first one, I felt, wanted to be this fun, sort of comic book-like movie. The second one wanted to be this more down-to-earth, serious kind of movie. And this one, it really tries to mix it, and again, it falls on its face. Because we have some moments that we're really supposed to feel the angst and despair of Peter, but then we have others where he's running around, dancing, and jumping out of clothing stores with tuxedos and doing this, oh yeah, I'm grooving, woo, Saturday Night Fever sort of thing. I can remember when I saw this movie in theaters, I was sitting right next to this girl and she's saying, "What an idiot." And I'm just sitting there thinking, what the hell am I watching? This isn't Spider-Man, this is Saturday Night Live, Panic at the Disco, what? How did that make it into a Spider-Man movie? I'm sorry, I just can't get over it. Those three things just really held the movie down for me, even more so when I watched it again recently. But, you know what, I've bitched and complained all this review. Is there anything that is redeemable about this one? Well, the action is still pretty fun in this. In fact, I think it is one of the few things that does have one serious vibe, and they know how to keep it. Like, there's one really cool action scene where we've got the Sandman and Black Suit Spider-Man fighting in a subway, and it really leads to some good cinematography and choreography between the fighting. And the end climax between Venom, Spider-Man, and the Sandman, and the New Goblin, that's who Harry goes by, I really don't think I'm spoiling anything by telling you that, was pretty cool. And while I brought that up, I really liked what they did with Harry in this. See, during their fight, again, I don't think I'm spoiling much by telling you this, Harry actually loses his memory, which, yeah, you could argue that's the same as botching it up with the second one, but I thought that was kind of interesting. Like, what if someone who had this huge grudge against you forgot because of their own doing? And again, I like that, so that was good. But those two things really do not save the movie in the end. Again, I don't hate this movie, not nearly as much as anyone else does, but I really do see why it got the bad praise. It was definitely the lowest point, and I see why people were having trouble accepting Spider-Man after this. Luckily, we had a new reboot coming, and I hope to give you my reviews on that tomorrow. But as for this one, 2 stars out of 5 for Spider-Man 3. You can find all my movie reviews on my YouTube channel. If you have a movie you'd like me to review, comment on this video or on my channel. Subscribe if you like, and until next time, peace!